I don't have any audio this week.
That's funny.
Well, like I said, we're going to try to do a loose show here.
Oh, again?
We're going to try
Okay.
and see if we can make it some mix between that and what we usually do. Because I think people really dug that. I'll tell them we can do 100. Ugh. This is the part I don't like.
Are we on the stream?
Not yet.
Yeah, you got audio.
Oh, cool. What's up, everybody? I'm working. Weirdly enough, not something I normally do, but doing zine stuff right now. We're starting a zine. We're trying to crank it back up and get it all caught up so you people can get it on time, and it's our major goal other than touring this year. So
Yeah, basically, I mean, right now the zine's a few months behind, which is a problem, but, I mean, everybody's been really cool about it. You know, no one bothered us.
they know who they're dealing with.
Right. But we do also come through on everything that we say we do. So, I mean, we have all your names. We have all the information. They're going to get mailed out. We're catching up real quick. I just spent like 14 hours. I wrote out my whole history of Street Fight with even more than what was in that last episode. It's like 8,000 words right now. And it's going to be pretty big. So
Did I pressure you into 8,000 words by me
no,
doing that?
I just kept adding, and then like
It feels like there's so much to the story that other people don't know.
I left out a million things, and I had a lot of personal stuff in there too. That was just weirdly related, you know, just because I had a couple moves in there, and my life was just, you know, my life was over the last 9 years. My life has been a million different things, you know.
Yeah, me too. Really. I mean, when I started podcasting, I was a cable guy, and now I'm a podcaster. You know.
Hey, what's up, Instagram? We're about to go live on the feed. We're doing the basement show soon. I'm going to do my pre-show dab, and I'm probably going to get here, probably going to get on the floor and cough because my back is still injured. Thanks for being here. If you want to see more of the show, we're about to go live, so Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all that shit, YouTube.
Oh, fuck me,
Everybody's
man.
here. What's up? Commander and Queef showed up.
What's up, everybody? We love to see you here. I'm looking at stuff. I'm trying to learn how to do spreadsheets now.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how, so I'm just kind of looking at a spreadsheet and saying I'm going to have to figure this out later. But I will. I'll figure it out. Spreadsheets are such a thing, you know, like a lot of stuff. What a crazy day on the internet. This Ryan Adams a piece of crap, but who couldn't have told that? He just seemed like the type of guy that I figured he had already been found out to be a creep.
Well, he wrote the kind of songs that were really fucking one-sided.
Yeah.
Like, you know, his relationship songs, you were like, well, I mean, I bet her point of view isn't as fucking, you know, you're not as much as the victim, you know, as
Yeah.
you make it out to be. The Omar shit is insane. Yeah. Hey, Zoopsels, how's it going? All right, there's Jason. He gets very little screen time. Is Gumball down here? Is there a Gumball? Can we get a Gumball appearance? I don't think so. All right, there's Brian. Say hey to Instagram.
What's up, Instagram? I wish I came on there more, but I'm lazy.
We will see you over on the live stream. Thanks for being here. We can get this shit started. Peace.
This kid's entertainer. The like famous this guy's like a famous kids entertainer. This guy did a doo-doo all over another guy.
Yeah, that happens. With your body sometimes.
He makes $1 million a month doing toddler YouTubes.
Smart. Switch it up, man. He's a natural.
I'm glad somebody found
He
it.
knows what kids like. All right, are we on?
You got audio. Yeah.
I want to let everybody know this week also that I have found the mute button on this mic, so I will not be coughing directly into it. I am in the middle of the second round of the sinus infection, so that's why I've been hacking up a whole bunch of shit the last few shows.
That's me, baby. I mean, I got better, which made me feel good about myself because, it proves how strong I am. But, you know, not all of us can have the same constitution as me.
Sure.
Oh, my face wash fell out of my bag that I keep for some reason. All right. I do have audio this week. I mean, we'll play a little bit of this Breakfast Club audio
Oh, wait.
with Kamala Harris on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Charlemagne, the god.
Hey, can I send you that Tippy stream, or is it too late? Too late.
Nah, you can give it to me. I'll get it in.
Man, how do you make a spreadsheet? Oh, shit.
You need a spreadsheet?
Google Sheets. Just Google.
Yeah, Google Sheet.
Well, I'm on there.
Create a new sheet.
I did it.
And then you can make a spreadsheet.
See, that's where I don't know what to do. The zine sheet, but I'll figure it out later.
It's all in the headers, man.
I don't know how to do headers. What do you do? Header?
Just throw them in.
You gotta name that shit.
Where's the header? Where's the header button at?
You don't have to make a header like that. You just write words in the first row and it's a header.
I'm gonna do this later. Wink, 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 wink. Do the Harlem Shake, y'all. Ding, 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 ding. That was a gross video. He pooped all over that man.
Yep. That was interesting for sure.
I just not a big fan of videos where people poop, but I feel like sometimes you just gotta see them to believe them.
I feel you on that.
Always been a big fan of pooping videos. When them girls farted in each other's mouth, that's the grossest thing I've ever seen. They were putting their mouth right by the booty hole and then cutting farts. It's like
That's hard to
sucking
do.
them in.
That's hard to do. That's hard to do. Ooh, that's hard to do.
It's like, why would you do that?
Well, I mean, unique experience, right?
Yeah. All right. You ready to do this?
We're waiting on Facebook right now to go live.
Fucking Facebook. I got to go to Dropbox.
It's not really fucking cooperating, so, but
Facebook, you don't say.
everything else is going.
Do the Harlem Shake. Yink, 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 yink.
Whatever, I don't know. So
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. It's not picking it up. Have you changed any of the keys or anything on here recently? Or?
No, not that I know of.
Well, it should be good. So it's just on Facebook, and I think at this point.
Oh,
All right.
boy. Oh, boy.
Are you ready to get started?
I'm ready. Ready when y'all is.
You gonna play the song?
Yep. You tell me when. Say when.
Ready?
Yeah. I can start it. Tell me when to start.
Whenever you're ready.
It's going.
What up, Street Fighters? Welcome to the show. Wednesday night, time for a street fight. Thanks for being here. Come to hang with the gang. Act orangutan. We're doing, we got the chat going. If you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, it's a unified chat. I will be in there as well. So you can see what everybody is saying on every other channel. So jump on, join the conversation as we get into it this week. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Brett Payne. My co-host over there is Brian Quimby. We're Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. We've been doing it for 8 years now, 9 years now. What is it? What are we saying?
8.
It's 8, right? Yeah.
We'll just probably say 8 until January. No, it'll be sometime this year we'll start saying 9. I don't
Okay.
know when we
Like
started.
July or something? Or
Yeah, after vacation.
Okay.
After
Let's
July
just do that.
vacation,
We
it'll
can
be
make
9.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can rewrite history. So, thanks for being here. We do a call-in show every Sunday. Didn't work out earlier this week, but we did get a special history of Street Fight episode. I hope you enjoyed that and insight into what got us to where we are. I called the phone company this week. They're setting me up tomorrow. Hopefully this will be taken care of by Sunday. Who knows? But the call-in show is scheduled to happen this Sunday at 9. Be there. It's going to rule. We just got done watching an episode of Kitchen Nightmares that's going to be available on our Patreon page at the $5 level. So for $5, you can watch Kitchen Nightmares. And that's where basically Brian and I put our face and our video or our audio over the show. So it's like watching TV with us. You also get access to all of our zines and the bonus shows. But that was a fucking wild episode we just saw. We saw the saddest man alive.
Yeah, we went for a sad guy this time.
The
so.
best manager we've ever seen, though.
Yeah, well, my dream manager, tell you the truth.
Right.
Because he doesn't care about anything.
He didn't care about a single thing at all and was a total doormat.
Yeah. Yep. Which is exactly what I need to manage me, really.
That's a great
It
manager.
would help me out a lot. How's it going, Brett?
I'm sick and injured actually, so but
Jesus,
I'm fine. I'm
Jesus.
keeping it together. Like I said, I wrote for the zine. We're doing the history of Street Fight in the zine, so we're actually writing it all the way down, and there's a lot more to it than what was in that show. But I've been just stuck on my back, so that's the only reason I've been able to get that done, because I somehow threw my back out again.
You're war torn. You
My
seem
back
war
is so
torn.
fucked up. I don't even know what to do.
Well, you got to go to a pain management clinic and then give me some of the pills. That's what
I'm
I
just
think.
gonna do
you should
half strength.
Yeah, you go to the pain management clinic, and then come back here with the pills and give them to me, and then your back will eventually get better after you lay around on it.
I do have a little bit of slow-mo that I
Yeah.
think we'll be able to do a promethazine episode very soon.
Well, I'm excited about that. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've had Finagrin, which is close to it, and that stuff is like, get out of town. It's an anti-nausea medicine, but it feels good.
Okay.
I like it. I mean, I hate nausea. So, I mean, anything that's going to keep me from having nausea is great.
Right.
Even though I don't really have it. But, maybe I'll get it eventually.
Sure.
Oh, God, I had the weirdest conversation with my kid today.
Great.
So it was freezing fucking cold today. I don't know why
The wind, man.
The wind was killing
Fucking
me.
wild.
I couldn't walk. I couldn't do my walk because it was just too cold. I was just like, I got to figure something out. So I walked down to the end of my street and then turned around and walked home because I was like, I can't do this. This is way too cold. The way I wanted to walk was the way the wind was blowing. And I said, no matter what, at some point I'm going to have to walk against this wind and it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. So we had to go walk around the mall.
Yikes, that sucks.
I'm a walkie boy, man.
You're a mall walker? Do you have
I
a
mean,
suit for it?
No, I
You
wear
get,
my
like-
regular clothes when I walk
You should
around
get,
the
something a
mall.
little more comfortable, maybe.
I just do it at the mall because my daughter loves going to the
No,
mall.
that makes sense.
So
No, I
I
mean,
can get the walk in.
I see why you make that decision.
Yeah, I get to hang out with her for a couple hours.
Do you get now? Are you into the treats at all? Do you end up eating something?
We
or-
usually get Starbucks while we're there. We usually
Okay.
grab a coffee.
That sucks.
Why?
Because you can get that at every street corner.
But we like it. We
Yeah,
like
but
to have a
there's,
coffee. with-
Famous cookie company and
I don't like that stuff.
and all of that, man. What about like some rolled ice cream?
I mean, I did want to get a Sparrow today because I do kind of sometimes like Sparrow, even though I know it's like the scourge of the world. But if I'm at the mall, it's like when in Rome. I don't
Yeah.
think Sparrow tastes that bad, actually.
Yeah.
I know how it won the best pizza in Columbus contest, even though I disagree with it.
Yeah, it's great as long as you add Parmesan cheese, oregano, pepper flakes, and black pepper and salt and.
That's
you know.
your opinion. I think it's fine without any of that stuff.
You know, it has to be doctored up. Oh, the garlic. Whenever they got the fucking garlic shake, oh, that's the best.
Yeah. I like garlic knots too. I'm a big garlic knots fella. So, oh no. So we're talking, and she's like, I had this really weird thing with my teacher today. My history teacher was talking and he was telling them whatever his lecture was. I don't know what the lecture was. I'm hearing this secondhand from a 14-year-old, so
Okay.
it could all be a lie. But he starts talking, and he's like, he asked us if we thought anybody was above the law.
Ooh.
So
Just, you know who, right?
only 2 people raised their hands.
Well, Steven Seagal, right?
Well, yeah,
That's
he's
the
above
only
the law
guy.
for sure. But only 2 people in the class raised their hands. Of course, she's one of them that raised their hand. She's like, yes, there are people that are above the law.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Of course there are people. We know that. Donald Trump's a fucking rapist.
Yeah.
You know, he's definitely, Bill Clinton is
But-
definitely above the law.
But don't people live in like a middle position where they don't actually accept the reason that we're in the place we are is people don't accept it as reality. They still, you can still get the crowd riled up by saying the system works.
Right.
Right.
The bankers live above the law.
Oh,
they
for
can
sure.
break all the laws they want, and then nothing happens. They just, well, you need to pay a $20,000 fine, which is like what they spend on food for the
Right.
month.
It's catering.
Yeah. So she raises her hand, and he's like, what kind of people do you think are above? He goes further into this speech. He's like, there are a lot of people out there who think they're above the law. People like Jay-Z, people like Kanye West, people like LeBron James, but they're not above the law.
Is this the fedora teacher?
No, that was my teacher. This is just a
Well, no,
regular
doesn't she
ass.
have one?
She doesn't have a fedora teacher.
What about what's the teacher that you're not special and no one cares
That's him.
about
That's
you?
the teacher.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same teacher. This
Same-
is fedora teacher to me.
Same teacher, right?
Right.
Well, I know this guy. I met him, But she was like,
Go ahead.
Dad, I thought his examples were very weird. And I was like,
Well,
well,
there's a theme.
I could say I think his examples are also racist. Like, I think his examples are racist. I don't think, first of all, none of those 3 guys are above the law or think they're above the law. And they would throw them in jail in a fucking minute if they did something.
Sure.
There's fucking people that are ready to throw Kanye West,
Right.
Jay-Z, and LeBron James in jail any second. And it's so fucking weird to say, do you think anybody's above the law and not name any white people? Because those people are above the fucking law. White
That's
ladies
who it is.
in fucking my neighborhood are above the fucking law,
Yeah.
They ain't getting in any fucking trouble.
Right.
What a crazy thing to say to a class. Like,
That's
just
shitty.
I was so proud of her for even she was like, I wanted to say something that it seemed racist, but I didn't want to get in trouble. And I was like, that's one of those occasions where maybe you shouldn't. Yeah, it's good.
Well,
you
I'll
didn't
hear,
say
I'll
anything.
hear you out. No, I would hear her out. I mean, like, you're allowed to say something. I'll hear you out. Like, you're not going to get in trouble with me.
Yes, I've said that to her a million times. Though she doesn't. It's weird. She doesn't really believe. She still believes in trouble. She
Sure.
believes in trouble
Sure.
that you can be in trouble.
Right. She's
When-
good. She's a good kid.
When the truth is, when you're a kid, only 2 people or 1 person can get you in trouble, and that's your parents. What your teachers say, it doesn't matter really all that
Right.
much. There's
Right.
it does if the teacher says something to me and I disagree with it, then yes, you got in trouble in school, you got suspended, or you got a Saturday school. But when you're home, you're not in trouble.
Right.
You just aren't going to get in trouble from me. And she would have never gotten in trouble for me for saying, "Why did you name 3 black guys when you said who's above the law?" Because I just wanted to say, this is the same teacher that made Donald Trump their avatar at school. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just think it's really crazy that, like, they have this respect. He has this, I guess, like, he's one of those dudes that really respects the system, that thinks he's, like, this intelligent guy
Sure.
that
Well read.
is racist. Like,
Yeah.
that is a racist thing to say to a room full of kids. White kids. There's not really
Yeah.
any black kids in the school. I don't think. There might be like one
It's just
in the class.
Yeah. Yeah, that fucking sucks. That's just extremely ignorant, and it just helps push along all those fucking kids in the room to continue along with the same, to see those people, those faces as folks that think they're better than everybody, even though they're committing crimes, or that they can't be. It's like, what? I don't, yeah. It's shitty.
Three guys.
I don't want to compare.
Crimes.
I don't want to. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to compare like one's better than the other. None of them have done anything that we know of that really. Besides, so there's some weird Jay-Z, Foxy Brown shit, but
Okay,
but that's not even pub. He doesn't even know what that is. He just because it's a rapper. He's
It's
just
a
saying
bunch of
because he's
stuff
a rapper.
he doesn't know anything about these three people.
Right.
He named them because he thinks that they think that they can't get in trouble by the police.
Sure, right.
And another thing,
shitty, man. That
another
sucks.
thing about them is a guy like
you-
LeBron, who was like a hands up, don't shoot guy.
No, that's what I mean. He's like an angel. LeBron's an angel.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say. I mean, he cannot.
I want that to be my son-in-law.
I would love it too. You can even say he does say bad things. Maybe he says problematic stuff, or maybe
Who?
he had. I'm saying that LeBron has never done anything
Right.
that would be considered a criminal act. And as a matter of fact, I think the thing that makes a guy like that crazy about LeBron James isn't his criminality. I don't think
success.
he doesn't think he's a criminal. He thinks he's a guy
Well, he thinks
that
it's
can.
criminal that a black man achieved that much success.
Yes,
and has the
yes.
audacity to open schools and
And go to the Lakers. I mean, I'm sure he's mad because he left Ohio. I'm sure he's probably, like I said, mad about the hands up, don't shoot stuff, because that's another thread. I guess Kanye isn't a guy that came out against the hands up. He doesn't do a lot of political stuff, but Jay-Z
He
has
has
also
political
said
stuff. He has
they've all
political
done political stuff. They've all said things about the police and stuff like that, and have articulated their experience in the world.
That is true. That is true.
and
They
if
all have
he's-
stuff about the police.
Right, and if he's talking about Jay-Z in his past when he was selling drugs and saying, "Oh, he thinks he's above the law," it's like he didn't think he was above the law.
No.
He knew that he could go to jail anytime for selling these drugs. He was selling the drugs because that was the way that he could make his living, or whatever the reason is. But it's just weird that you can say these people think they're above the law, but the people that work at Goldman Sachs don't.
Sure.
They're not above the law. And this is the kind of thing that makes people look in that direction
Yeah, that's
for
what I mean.
criminality
That's what I said.
instead of in the direction of the people that just fucking Bill Clinton is a dude who's done a lot of shit
Yeah.
that is kind of he's done some shit,
Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump again has been accused of rape multiple times and nothing's ever happened. He's the fucking president. The goddamn guy is being accused of treason and he's walking around free and he's still the president.
Yeah,
It's fucking
he's
bullshit.
been above the law. Yeah.
Yeah. To call the success of three black men that came from fucking nothing a criminal act that's fucking disgusting. I don't even know what you do. Because I don't want to cause. I guess I do kind of want to do
Just
something.
tell him. Do you have his email address?
I can
Just
get
send
a
him an
hold of any
email
of the
and say,
teachers.
Gwen told me this thing, and I wanted to make sure that you thought of some other examples besides black guys. I mean, do better.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was interesting that she even saw that a 14-year-old can see that and think it's weird is very wild to me.
Well, I mean, yeah. They also grow up on Instagram these days.
Right. Well, I've heard stuff about this teacher in the past from
what did she
other people.
respond?
She didn't say anything. She didn't want to say anything to him.
No,
She
but what
was
about
afraid.
the power? Why'd she raise her hand, though?
Because it was raise your hand if you think that there are people that are above the law,
Oh,
right?
That's
So
all.
it's like,
she
hey,
didn't
class.
have to say who, though?
No, she didn't have to say a word.
Oh.
It was just raise your hand, and it was two kids said raise their hand. It's like because these kids come from rich people. A lot of these kids come from people that are
They don't know what
people
it's
of
like.
means.
They don't know what it's like to not be above the law. They
Right.
just think that everybody else is. They just think that the law is like them, which is above the law.
Yeah. I just hate to think about the way these kids. I already hate the way they teach history. Right? I already don't like the way they teach American history because I think it's totally wrong. I think the way that they teach American history is it hurts. Everybody's politics are fucking bad because of the way they teach American history, you know?
No, it's I mean, it is a reason that like we can't trust the school system, you know, all the way, because those teachers are fucking indoctrinating our kids with a lot of fucking bullshit.
Right, and when you think about like, oh, we have all these teachers that listen to our show that probably do really great, and I'm really glad that they're out there, and I'm glad they're teaching kids, but I just worry about the people that aren't great, the conservative teachers,
most.
and yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have good experience in my teachers or remember them being like very open to hearing anti-American ideas or anything like that.
Right, I never heard that. I never heard any kind of America did some bad things.
Right.
You know, I never heard. I had to get out of high school and read the People's History of the United States to find out what we did to the indigenous people here. I would have never known that. I thought basically the Pilgrims got here and then they had Thanksgiving with the Indians, and then, you know,
Native Americans.
I'm telling it the way that I was taught.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Sorry.
Like, is that I learned that the Pilgrims came here and
Right.
they ate a meal with the Indians, and then they kind of all figured out how to live together, and then they had some wars, and then, you know, we moved them to another place.
There was actually, now that I think about it, I remember there was one moment where we spent a decent amount of time going over the torture techniques that like the Native Americans used on the white settlers. Like we spent it in just so much time on it. And I just remember thinking how irrelevant it was, you know?
Yeah.
Considering what the other side was doing, you know?
Yeah.
It was really weird that we focused so heavily on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fucked up education. That really sucks. And you have to just deprogram your kid when they come home. But at the same time, it's like I have all of that basic ass knowledge, which I think is important. At the end of the day, it's important, you know?
Yeah.
Don't you think it's important to know what everybody else learned?
Well, yeah, I think it's important to know the common narrative, and it's very. I feel successful as a parent that she was one of the two people that had a dissenting opinion, and that she came home and talked to me about this.
That's good. Yeah.
She felt like she needed to talk to me about it, and told me that she felt that it was weird. Like, that makes me proud, because it makes me feel like I'm teaching. I've instilled some kind of, like, a lot of people aren't smart. A lot of people don't question things. A lot of people they get a version of, okay. So like they get the type of history they teach you, I could do in 5 fucking minutes,
Right,
you know?
right.
Like I can teach, so, okay.
You don't have to do it.
I can, let me do it though, for real. Let me tell you
Okay.
what I think they learn. And I guess you can, we're just going to do this right now.
Okay.
I'm going to tell American history as most people understand it. I think it'll be a good exercise, okay?
Will you move your mic back some?
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Okay. The English, or Christopher Columbus, came to America. He was Spanish, and then he came here and he set up. He went back and he told everybody that this was here, and the English came over here and they set up a colony where they lived in a nice colony, the Jamestown colony. That's what I think it was, right? And there were already people here, but we kind of discovered it. That's where then the people that were here decided, oh, we don't like that the British are taxing us, right? Like the British are taxing us. These people from this fucking kingdom all the way across the river are making us pay fucking taxes. Let's have a revolution. So in 1776, there was a revolution. After the revolution, they did so first they had to do the Declaration of Independence. Then they did the revolution. Then they won the revolution. Then they wrote the Constitution. And then America is here. It's the greatest document ever made.
Wow.
And that's America.
Really?
And like, that's what I think isn't that the whole story? That was my basic understanding of history. There was a constitutional convention and they argued back and forth for a little bit about the Constitution. You know, but
This guy rode a horse real fast.
yeah, and yeah, somebody said the river. George Washington
Yeah,
went across the river on Christmas and killed a bunch of people on the other side of the river. Now they don't say it like they would never say the bloodless way of history that they also told you was nobody killed anybody, which they did. They fucking killed so many indigenous peoples here. They killed so many British people here. They killed so many fucking poor people here. And black people were just getting fucking slaughtered and enslaved and tortured. And none of that comes up.
Yeah.
So when you get out of high school and you get to vote in your first election, why wouldn't you fucking think this is a goddamn miracle country? You know?
Right.
Because the story is so
It is. It's great.
small.
Yeah,
you
there's
know?
a lot of movies about it that make it seem really grandiose too and important.
Yeah. And that's just, you know, we could go into further, but I'm just talking about the building of America is really, in the end, a 5-minute story that these people have made up that doesn't include anybody except for the rich people. This is the history of a bunch of rich
People that were above the law.
Yeah, that's all it is. But these teachers, a lot of history teachers, and not all of them, because I know there are history teachers in our audience, but there are a lot of history teachers that have a very conservative way of looking at it, and they almost believe that too. They might read a book that has a few extra details in it. I know my father-in-law considers himself a student of history, and he reads book after book after book about Benjamin Franklin and the year 1776 and about Thomas Jefferson, and he's read all these books, but really what I just said boils down the founding of this country to him. That is what he thinks.
Right.
And if he was to do a
Pretty much.
timeline, it couldn't get much more he wouldn't be able to get much more detailed than that. He might be able to be like, oh, Gettysburg happened. Well, you forgot about Gettysburg. Oh, you know,
Right.
you forgot about Fort Sumter, sir. And it's like, okay. Like, but this story is such
They're like,
fucking bullshit.
They're like stories from the Bible.
Right. That's your history book in high school was a Bible, basically.
Yeah. The American Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much made up, cleaned up, you know, get rid of all, like you said, the stuff that makes you sad, manifest destiny, yada, yada, yada.
Remember-
You're the luckiest person in the world to be here.
You want to know what's really weird? So when I went to college, so this is basically what my view of history was. I'm telling you what I think about kind of my view of history was until I went to college, right? And I went to college and I remember reading about the Constitutional Convention, okay? And there was a part at the beginning, and this is a 3-sentence paragraph in this history book that I'm reading that is very detailed about the Constitutional. You know, you're learning all this shit. And I remember this paragraph in the book that said, okay, there were the founding fathers who are like all these guys. And then there was also
Just doing guy shit.
just a bunch of guys. Well, it was just a bunch of guys doing guy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably all sitting in there
Conquering.
farting and smoking cigars and shit like that.
Colonialism.
Yeah. And so there's a bunch of guys that were doing this stuff, but there was also a group in the early days of the first part of the Constitutional Convention. There was a group of farmers and there was a group of workers that was kind of a populist group. And it said the first people, they got rid of them. They were like, well, they're not very helpful.
Sure.
And then they moved on to the Constitution. I never heard anything about the rest of them. I never read anything else about the rest of them. But I remember reading that piece and being like, there's your problem right there.
Yeah.
And it just
Sounds like
just
you're
blew
playing
it.
favorites here.
Yeah, it blew the whole thing apart for me. And I've read 1776. I've read the book 1776, which is
Impressive.
I've read that big ass thick Ben Franklin book they wrote a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, because my fucking father-in-law would get them and then give them to me, and then I was I thought I was also a student of history.
Got it.
Before I was in college.
Following in his footsteps.
Right. And I would read these things, and I just, now when I look back on it, what a fucking waste. Those books were bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them were bullshit. All of those guys, I mean, a lot of those books to me seem like they're designed for you to hear the founding fathers were flawed.
Right.
which means they're not perfect. But isn't it amazing that they all work together and they were able to make this
They're
perfect
geniuses.
thing?
They're superhuman geniuses
Yeah.
with amazing intellect that broke through new boundaries in philosophy, right?
Yeah.
They did design the most freest, the best place on earth.
Oh, this is interesting.
Freest
Somebody
and bestest. Sorry.
Somebody in a chat, Rhonda, said schools usually just give history classes to coaches. And then somebody responded and said social studies was taught by a coach. Social studies and history was taught by a coach. A coach, like the football coach or
Holy
something.
shit.
You got to do something else. You can't just do football.
Yeah,
No, just
ours was a health teacher.
a history teacher was a health teacher.
What?
Your history teacher was a health teacher?
No, our coach
Oh.
was the health teacher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
too.
because it
Word
was both like low energy things.
Well, it's funny because I'm thinking about my history teachers, and I took a course called Street Law, and I took a course called Street Law that was a class that was supposed to be about laws that like the laws that govern us, like crime. Basically, you know, it's something that I'm very interested in. Like, that's what I wanted to study in college was street crime. So I take this class called Street Law, and 3 times a week we watch Law and Order. And then for the other 2 days we read out of some book.
Really?
But we were just watching Law and Order in this course. So my understanding of the court system was actually just Law and Order.
Well,
really.
there's a lot of people who should get some college credits. Because I know folks that have seen every single episode. They should get a college credit for that.
Yeah, that's high school. That was high school for me. Where we just
Oh, that was high school?
right.
Oh,
Yes,
I was gonna
yes.
say.
College.
I was gonna say, how would they get away? I couldn't imagine them getting away with that.
Again, my college history courses went way
Yeah, I
into
mean-
shit where you learned a lot of stuff because those teachers are teachers who have been through
Well,
other stuff, and then they teach it. They're teaching college students so they can say some of the things that you can't get away with. Because you're in the end, they're preparing those kids to do a history test that is administered by the government.
yeah,
So
exactly.
You have to give
have to
them
be-
those. Yeah.
You have to follow the government. Yeah, you know the government standards. Yeah, I mean, it's a joke, man. It's mostly a place where our kids can go so we can go to work and we don't have to pay for a babysitter.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of it, like, that's a waste of time to go and fill my kid's head full of fairy tales about, like, the founding fathers and shit, you know? Does nothing to help her, like, critical thinking or ability to adapt and move in this world. Like, it's just, that's fucking nonsense.
Agree. Agree.
I mean, you know, it's not challenging in any way. And it sucks because I don't know how all the alphabets and letter stuff, like that has to happen at school because I do not know
Math.
how to teach that shit at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Writing.
but-
you can teach kids writing
I
in
can't.
school.
I don't
No,
have the patience for it.
I'm saying the school can teach the kids to
Right,
write.
right.
They can teach them.
But not the indoctrination. Yeah, we need to cut the indoctrination classes and do more like, you know, living financially on your own classes.
I mean,
or
what
art
about
classes,
independent-
home ec?
What about
Cooking,
even
Pinterest? Call it Pinterest, and then everybody picks a pin each week, and we do it.
Well, what about a history course where there's some version of independent study where you start pointing
Yeah.
the kids in the directions of research?
Sure.
Now, I know that's going to not lead to like some of the best outcomes. If you had pointed me in the direction, I probably would have only like read about Kurt Cobain the whole time. But
Sure.
if you or like I would have done the worst kind. But I got so much out of college history. And I just felt lied to. And it bums me out that so many people don't go. A lot of people don't go to college.
No, I know.
And a lot of
Most
people are
don't.
going and voting and thinking they have a really complex view of history.
Not even complex, complete.
Complete. Yeah, I would say complete because it's not complex. Right.
No.
I just did it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, they think it's it. I got it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, the founding fathers stuff has to go. I don't know how you even get rid of the
They love it, man.
of the
That's
founding
that's
fathers.
like they're Marvel people.
It is. You think in like 100 years the Marvel movies are just gonna be
Like
founding fathers movies?
Thomas Jefferson in the
Yeah.
Iron Man suit or something?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
People would pay to see that.
Yeah.
A lot of money to go see that. I think.
Yeah.
You know they're fucking making the He-Man movie and they didn't even call us.
They are?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some good ideas for He-Man.
Camaro, replacing Battle Cat with a Camaro.
That makes
That was
total
like
sense,
one of the
yeah.
ideas.
Well,
we
but
had.
we would have a Battle Cat paint job on it. though.
It would be green like Battle
Yeah.
Cat.
With the orange like stripes, like fire, flaming chicken, but we could turn it into a tiger.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I also think that teaching kids things like ethics in school would be, even though they kind of probably try to even do that, but those tend to, like, I feel like some of the stuff that I think, somebody said something about homeschooling, and I don't think that works either, because I think that you have to go there to
some people.
socialize.
I think people do fine with it. I haven't met somebody that was like completely irregular as a person just because they went to homeschool. Maybe some quirks.
It just
Actually, I know a homeschool person that is like the most killing it successful person I've ever met in my life. Can play instruments, has traveled, studied abroad, has won multiple awards for architecture, and yeah.
Do you think it's possible that we can kind of do homeschool, but also send them all to a place and make them do stuff? Because that's what school is to me. For me, the importance of school is that we're sending them all to a place and making them do stuff and work together. That's why I want them there.
Yeah.
I want my daughter to be around the maximum amount of people.
True. Agreed.
And because I don't want her to be a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, problem solving and learning mathematics, but the propaganda really we really got to work on that.
I mean,
I still hate that fucking pledge. They do.
I do too. I really think that's another one of those. That's why that understanding of history and the pledge are the two things that I think fucks people up.
It was like the kneeling for the anthem was like cool. I mean, that's pretty disrespectful or whatever, but it never really caught on other places. People still like wear America fucking bathing suits and shit and have, will change their avatars on their social media profiles and stuff without thinking about it.
I still go back to how weird I felt when me and you sat for the national anthem at All In. How I felt like somebody might throw something at the back of my head.
Yeah, it happens.
But it didn't happen. Nothing happened.
No,
to
it doesn't
us.
happen,
And then we didn't
actually.
have
It
to
hasn't
stand
happened
up
yet,
and we
yeah.
didn't have to do anything.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there was somebody around us that was like, what, a couple of pieces of shit in their head, but they didn't say anything.
I'd talk to somebody about it as long as they didn't want to fight.
Yeah. I would have the
I don't want to fight
conversation.
with somebody, but I'll talk to somebody.
Well, I found another weird story. Gwen, good job raising your hand on that one, though. I know you're not listening because you're watching Shane Dawson.
Okay.
But I do know. So here we go, Brett. This is from Newsweek. It is a story about Fox News, and I thought it was a good thing to talk about.
What is it?
This is a story from Fox News.
Oh,
The
I love
chagrin of his co-host. To the chagrin of his co-host. Shit on me. Why does everything have to have noise on it?
Was that a commercial for a car or something?
Yeah. Actually, let's just play this audio.
What
How
is
about we
it?
play the audio? It's
All
a
right,
Fox
I'll take
News
a listen.
audio.
Let me jump in.
We have the ability to play the audio. We can play the audio, and we can just chat about this. It's better to let them go by their own words, right?
Oh, I love this guy. I know where you're going now.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You guys are gonna have to hear
press
10
mute.
seconds of an advertisement.
I'm not going to press mute for the burps because they're really good.
I'm gonna do silent for the advertisement, and we're gonna talk over it. And they're trying to get us to buy diamond rings for our wives for Valentine's Day, but that shit ain't gonna happen because we ain't got diamond ring money, dude.
Yeah, that's.
I don't have Tiffany money. All right, here we go, baby.
I told you my 2019 resolution is to say things on air that I say
Okay.
off air. I don't
Be
think
you.
I've washed my hands for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Really, I don't.
He said, "I don't think
I
I've
don't
washed
really
my
wash
hands
my
in
hands
10
in
years."
years. No, I inoculate myself. It's just not.
Great.
Germs
Oh,
are
yeah,
not a real
that's
thing.
true.
I can't
He's
see
having
them.
fun.
Therefore, they're not real.
So you're becoming immune to all of the
exactly.
bacteria.
I can't get
I-
sick.
I have been saying this for years, and
Oh,
it
you
makes
agree.
me it makes me feel kind of bad that I actually have said that, and then this guy says I'm not going to. I don't wash my hands for 10 years. Now I'm like, okay, now I got to go. I'll say this. I wash my hands a couple times a day.
Do you do it after you use the restroom?
No.
Okay.
I apologize to all the people that are grossed out by that. After I duke, I wash my hands because I've been, particles and stuff.
Sure.
I don't think the peeing and washing your hands thing, I'm just not into it.
I
You know?
agree. I'm with you.
Not into it.
Okay.
I don't want to wash my hands that many times.
Yeah, it tears them up, dries them out.
Thank you for saying that. Now, the germs thing, I do believe.
You believe in germs?
I believe in germs, but I believe that I'm more powerful than germs. Like, I want an
feel it.
immune system that can take a certain amount of germs.
Less hand washing, more. You want to be able to build up an immunity,
I know, I'm saying.
like test your
yes.
body.
I agree with them partly because I do think there were like all these years. I know people died younger, right? But like the founding fathers, they were fucking disgusting, right?
Sure.
And they were living to be 80 years old. and
Okay,
stuff, right?
okay.
We're living better now than the founding fathers.
Yeah, and everything's too sanitized
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Now
You need to
people
build up that gut biome, right? You get a little bit of feces particles in your food. Not
Yeah.
enough, just enough to inoculate you. Not a full blown like dysentery or anything like that.
Again, I'm totally not telling people that they need to not wash their hands.
You know
I
what?
think that the
I was
problem
gonna say
is
you can just
hand
cut the mold. You can
sanitizer.
just cut the mold off of cheese and eat it.
Well,
I'm
now
gonna say
see,
it.
we have another story
I'm gonna
about
say
that actually tonight. Let's do that.
You
Let's
can
get
totally
these guys
just
in
cut it
together.
off. If it's not a soft cheese, if it's a hard cheese, you just cut it off and eat the rest.
Let's get these people. Let's get a couple things in together here. This is from the Daily Mail, and this is Theresa May. She's a racist and like she's the bad person, right? Okay. Here we go. Brett, you're gonna agree with her, and it's gonna make me
I'm
nuts.
not going to agree with her.
It is advice which could have come from a good housekeeping guide, but it also applies to 10 Downing Street, too. That's where their White House is.
Got
right?
it. That's like
Okay.
Pennsylvania Avenue.
Theresa May told her most senior ministers yesterday that she will not throw away a jar of jam if it's gone moldy on top. Instead, the prime minister said she scrapes off the mold and eats the good preserve left underneath. These people are just going out and saying this.
How do you
stuff.
got motherfucking jam in your fridge and you just let it get moldy? I don't even have this problem.
But
I eat it faster than it can mold.
That's true. You're good at eating your food and not wasting. Her hot tip came during
Right.
yesterday's cabinet meeting in a discussion on how to reduce food waste. So they all were sitting around a table and they're like, how do we reduce this food waste? You know, this
Yeah.
nation is wasting a ridiculous amount of food. And, you know, we can't tell the grocery stores to stop throwing away all that food at the
Right.
end of the day and instead give it to poor people or something like that. Or we could just not make less food.
Right? Sell the ugly fruit that doesn't ever make it to market, maybe.
Yeah.
Make that available.
We could there's a lot of things that capitalism could do to waste less food, but she said no. If you go in your fridge and you have a jar of fucking jam in there,
Yeah.
and it's got mold on top, you need to scrape that off and
Yeah.
a couple of centimeters underneath and just dump it on in the trash and then eat the rest of that jam.
Get a spoon, scoop out the mold, rinse it off. Rinse. You don't even need to wash.
I'm a
Get your jam.
gross
I,
piece of
I don't,
shit, and
I
I
don't
can't
trust
do
that
it.
one. Yeah.
No.
I don't think that one works.
You think I'm gross? I'm a I
Okay.
gotta say, I am one of the grossest people on the planet. I just said, you know, about why I just agreed with that weirdo about the hand washing, right?
Cheese was my limit, but
Well,
from what I
cheese is
know, is
gross,
it's like
too.
if it's soft, then it has like legs that can go down deep into it. Like if you see it on bread, you just got to fucking get rid of it because it
I
could
agree.
be all over.
Yep.
But and same with jam, man. Like it could just be so deep in there.
Right.
But you know, at the same time, all that's
No.
gonna happen is you're just gonna have diarrhea or like
No,
maybe
no.
you're gonna die from it.
You can die from mold, right?
No,
You poop.
just bad poops.
You would diarrhea and
you get
throw
bad
up
butt.
and
You
stuff.
get
Because I've had salsa get moldy
Sure.
on top, and I've had pizza sauce get
I
moldy
eat
on
pizza
top.
sauce. I eat all the stuff where like I pour out the pizza sauce and then I go to throw away the lid and I'm like, oh, that had mold in it.
Right.
Yeah.
You would never. So you have the pizza sauce. You have a half a jar of pizza sauce. You take it out. You open it. There's mold. You wouldn't like scrape the mold off and
No,
just
I would
eat
get rid
what's
of it.
under it.
No, I would say I would get rid of it, but lots of times I've had mold situations, just not seen it and ate it and been totally
That's true.
fine.
I've had bread with mold on it,
Yeah.
and then like
I've eaten, yeah.
I was like eating a sandwich one time, and my wife was eating from the same loaf of bread, and her piece, she was like, "Oh my God, there's a piece of mold on this bread," and I was like, "Oh, really? I didn't see that."
Really? Don't taste like it.
I mean, I'm gross, but rotten food is just
Yeah,
so far over the line for me.
Sure.
I'm really a gross
Sure.
dude. Oh, man,
Do
I'm
you
trying
trust
to
that? You know, my wife goes by the date on the package, and that drives
I
me
do.
furious.
I do. Well, that's what they're saying.
It's
in
not
this,
even close, dude. That shit lasts so much longer.
That's what the other thing they're saying in this Theresa May article is like, why are you letting the Best Buy date determine when you eat it? You need to use your eyes and be
Yeah,
a fucking
that's
human
true.
and look in this thing and don't trust a fucking stamp.
True.
I trust the stamp. Why put the stamp there if I'm not
to
supposed
get you to buy
trust it?
more.
That's no.
Yes.
That's not a real conspiracy.
Yes, it is, because I have all kinds of prepackaged breads, rolls, and buns that I have kept in the pantry for a month afterwards with no change in any sort of mold status.
I throw them away. I make my wife look.
I have
I just
tortillas
had a
that are
loaf
like
of bread.
6 weeks old.
I just had a loaf of bread in the house that expired on the day that we ate it. And I felt weird about eating the bread. We were eating Italian
Oh,
bread,
God.
and it was expired on February 10th. And I said, when does that expire? We're talking about on February 10th. I said, when does that expire? My wife goes, February 10th. And I'm like, oh, man.
That's not even close to when it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
The date on the package is just when it will not be up to the manufacturer standards and guarantee of freshness for the product.
I like
It's not an
manufacturer
actual
standard.
guarantee. It's not a guarantee of. It's not when it's going to rot or when it's going to mold. It's just that when it's going to start to get a little stale, when it's going to be like, all right, this is a little older than I like.
This is something I've never heard.
It is true. I've
It
done the
seems like that
research on
should
this
be
actually. I got in
something-
a heated argument about this with somebody and ended up researching it all night long when I was super drunk.
Donald Trump should have to come on TV and say this then.
Okay.
Nobody's saying this.
People
This
should
isn't-
know. We should inform customers. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, because people waste food. A lot of it.
If this is true, I want to hear it from an authority, a person. Now, yes, years like Fever said, my dad said medicine doesn't ever actually expire.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
That, to me, I believe it.
Actually, that's true as well. I've looked this up too. It just degrades in quality. Once again, on the expiration date means that it's not going to be full strength. You can eat a 2-year-old pill, but it's not going to be the same milligram as if it was freshly pressed.
Yeah. I am trying. I need to hear this from the people that
We
stamp
can look
the
it up.
Best
Let's
Buy
do the
date.
FDA
No,
or
I
whatever.
want a speech
whatever
on
your
TV.
government agency you want to believe that.
No, this is the type of thing in my utopia that an official scientist, there would be an official
many
scientist, and when you're trying to watch your TV at night, they would cut in and they would say, that Best Buy date, that's just manufacturer standards. Or maybe it's something that they have to say at the end of the commercial. Like, Best Buy date is just manufacturer standards.
That's true. That makes sense.
Something like that. Because I'm not going to believe it, dude. I'm not believing it.
Okay.
I still am throwing shit away on the Best served
Well,
by.
I'll take it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want me to bring it to your house?
Bring
You
it
want me to
over.
bring my rotten food to your
Bring
house?
your rotten food.
All
to
my
house.
rotten ass
Yep.
food?
Your smelly, bloated, disgusting, rotten food.
I'll throw canned foods away. I'll just throw them right in the trash.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Come on.
They're bad.
They're not.
The food is bad inside the
You've been
pan.
hypnotized by capitalism.
That's not hypnotized. It's
It
not.
is. You're being controlled by marketers.
Now you're making it.
And like they hire psychologists and shit to make people feel like it's dangerous to eat the food so they can sell more.
That's crazy. Well, I do believe a bunch of the capitalist conspiracy stuff too, so I guess I kind of have to believe this from you. But we need a scientist to come out and just say this. This needs to be like common information, especially with this stuff in the news right now. Nobody knows this. Who knows this? Who out here is
know.
not? Who out
sorry.
here is eating rotten? What I consider to be rotten food.
Rotten.
It's rotten.
Sure.
If that one
What?
day after the milk, one day after that date, I'm throwing that shit in the trash. I'm scared as hell to touch. What about milk?
Milk's fine. Milk, you just got to smell. Milk.
No
milk
way.
Will tell
No
you.
way,
milk will
Jose.
tell you when it's bad.
No way,
You know
no way.
immediately when milk is bad.
There's definitely never going to be have a time where I smell milk.
I trust my senses.
I'd rather throw it in the trash than smell it. Ever. Because what if it is rotten and you smell rotten milk?
You throw it away.
Ugh, but you smelled rotten milk. It ruins your whole day. That's like when you get electrocuted. Have you ever been electrocuted?
Sure.
Fucks your whole day up because the whole rest of the day you're like, God damn, remember when I got electrocuted?
Right, that could
That's what
happen
it's like
again.
when I smell rotten food. It's like for the whole rest of the day, I'm like, fuck, I just breathed in that rotten food.
Yeah,
I remember what that smelled like.
I consider it a unique experience.
Ew. It's gross. Things.
It's funny. It's really funny though to tell somebody like I was about to drink this milk and then I smelled it and then threw up in the sink. You know, that's funny.
Somebody needs to make. Maybe ContraPoints can do a video about the best sell-by date.
That's their.
Have you ever contacted her
Sure. we
about
can
that?
see.
Get
Yeah.
that. Get that in the doc. Or
Let's see if I can.
if you're a scientist
Picture,
out
we
there,
can picture.
if you're a scientist out there, and I need you to show me your degree, and I need to show you a certificate, I need to see this stuff, and I need you to explain that. You need to call into the call-in show and explain all this stuff to me, because this sounds horrible to me. That's all I'm gonna say. That's my last word on that
Okay.
subject.
Okay. Yeah, that was the.
Well, it's
food-
not the last word.
the
This
food
is
segment.
This is ongoing news now. Okay, this is an ongoing story in the Street Fight universe. I need to know.
Man,
All right.
I need to get a tan or something. I look like
You're
so.
a fucking ghost. I'll tell you that
Ghosty
right
right
now.
now.
Did you hear that story?
I haven't been outside.
Have you? Yeah, okay. I go
haven't.
outside a lot. I'm beautiful. I'm sun-kissed. They would call me sun-kissed.
Sure.
Except for I am kind of white right now, but it's winter. That's how you're supposed to be. It's a natural state of things.
Yeah.
All my skin's covered up to the middle of my hand. Did you hear about that tiger thing? That
Tiger.
guy found that tiger.
Found a tiger?
Yeah, so in
Where?
Houston, there's this abandoned house, and there's this enormous it was a fat tiger, and it was in an abandoned house, okay? So in Texas, wild animals are not, like, you're not allowed to have a tiger as a pet in
Okay.
Texas. Which seems
Surprising.
weird, because
Surprising.
Texas seems like the kind of place where they would let you have a tiger
Right.
as a pet.
They just.
How do people get tigers? How does that happen? How do you
I-
get a tiger? If you
I gotta say, I will usually have something to share about everything, and I've never been close enough to any exotic pet traders to know exactly how that system goes down.
Which is strange because I see you really. If you
I got
weren't,
too many pots going, man.
I'll say
I'm
if-
too exotic animal traders.
if you weren't a married podcaster with a child, and you were just Brett without any family or anything like that, I would see you as an exotic pet haver.
You think so?
I think you're a lizard guy. I always believed from the first time I met you, I was like, this guy owns a fucking lizard.
Okay.
He just you have the vibe, you have the beliefs, you just seem like a lizard guy.
The beliefs
You
about
just,
lizards.
like people that are into lizards believe like kind of some of the
Oh,
same
sure.
stuff. People
Sure.
that like lizards
Sure.
like live a little bit like you, I
Sure.
think, in your prime way.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You're just a lizard guy.
Worship
It's
the
fine.
reptile.
Not that you're a reptile, that you like that you're like, oh, I want a pet.
Yeah.
Well, the
something-
dogs are so hacky.
Something cold. Yeah.
And cats are, everybody has a goddamn cat.
Right.
I'm a lizard guy. And
Sure.
I just think that I just really think if you hadn't got married, you would be in the exotic pets trade.
Okay.
It's just something I believe.
Okay.
I'm profiling you, obviously.
it's fine.
How many Street Fight listeners do you think trade exotic pets?
I don't know. I can't. We have a lot of like animal rights people.
But we
so-
also probably have a lot of people that
Yeah.
are in the exotic pets.
I mean, if the goddamn things are around, someone's got to do something with them. That's how I kind of feel about most animals.
How does
I don't,
the
I don't-
tiger get
I
here?
don't like breeding or I don't agree with any of that or adding any more animals, even dogs and cats. Just whatever happens, you know.
Yeah.
But like if the goddamn things are around, I mean, someone wants to take it and put it in a fucking cage and feed it. Like I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I knew one lizard guy, and I can tell you all about him right now. He worked with me at Chuck E. Cheese. He was in charge of the games, which is such a fucking lizard guy job. He was the manager in charge of the game room.
Right.
Okay, single, was not
Yeah.
married,
Well, he had other duties. He's committed to other things.
and he smoked joints and Camel Lights at work. And he would invite us over when he was an older man, and he invited me and my buddy over when we were 16 to smoke weed and feed his snake.
Okay.
It's a lizard guy. That's such a lizard guy life.
Yeah.
Unmarried. If you weren't good looking, that's all I'm saying.
Okay. I
If
understand.
your brain got put in an ugly man's body, you would so be a fucking lizard,
Okay.
dude.
Okay.
You would be living in a house with one room with the door shut that has an alligator in it, and I can guarantee that.
Okay.
I don't know how I can prove
believe
it,
you. I
but
believe
if
you.
we could put your brain in an ugly man, if your brain was in my body, that's what you'd be doing.
Okay, I believe that.
All right. It's just an opinion. It's not an insult. I think lizard dudes are cool. I went and hung out with one when I worked at Chuck E. Cheese,
Yeah.
obviously.
I had a friend who had a chameleon, and it was fucking fun to play with.
Ugh.
You just
So
let it walk
gross.
all over everything. It's all slow. It's like
They're little, though. Them
It just
motherfuckers,
says
when
they're
you go
like-
into a guy's house and there's a big, hot, like, fucking aquarium with one of those lizards that look like they have, like, a beard and a, like,
or
almost
like this shit.
a
Fucking
mean,
Dilophosaurus.
yeah, and like one of those mean, like they look like a mean green human face a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like
a
where like
bad
an
one.
old
Like
man,
a pissed off face.
yeah,
Just straight up. Yeah.
and they're like just they look at you
Mean
and then
mugging.
and then
And then they go.
That's what I was gonna say. The only time they move, it's really fast.
Yeah. They just kick up dirt and sand and shit everywhere.
Yeah, I don't like
You're
that.
like, ah, where's it going?
Yeah, I feel like that could break through the glass, my dude.
Starts running up on his fucking back legs and shit.
It's like at that point, why don't you just own a pterodactyl?
Yeah.
You would let
you just dinosaur shit.
yeah. Don't collect that shit, man. Let
There was
them run free.
There was someone actually. There was a girl I used to hang out with that had a dinosaur pet. She had a bearded dragon actually.
Ew.
Let that thing run around all over the carpet.
What do you feed that thing?
I think it was like crickets and shit.
Crickets.
Yeah, bugs.
Where do you put them?
You just throw him in a cage with him, and then he chases them down, or
Gross.
she chases
I
them down.
hate
or
that. How big's the
non-binary.
cage?
What?
How big's the cage?
Wait,
Yeah, all lizards are non-binary.
what cage?
Like if you put,
I don't know. They did it dirty, man. They gave him a small cage.
of course.
You know, like the little 20-inch one.
Okay,
24
so-
inch, maybe a 10-gallon, 15-gallon.
So this fucking tiger had been left in an abandoned house, which is such a thing a guy that owns a tiger would do. Every time I've ever heard, which maybe it's because I'm not hearing the good people with tigers.
If you get caught with it, they probably just put you in handcuffs.
They should. If you own a fucking tiger, you should go to jail.
Wow.
I'm for abolishing the police state, but
You have to go to new jail. Whatever. We have to make up a new jail for these people.
give them a month. Just give them a
Just
month.
a
Just make them
Just
sit
cool-
in
cool
jail
their
for a
heels.
month.
Let's
Yeah.
call it cool their heels.
Yeah, it's like what Brace said. Everybody should have to go to jail for a while, but I don't
like a
believe
week.
that.
A
But
week.
like,
He
yeah,
said 1 week.
but I do think, yeah, just come on, dude.
Stop it.
Maybe even just put them in handcuffs and let them live in their house, but with handcuffs
Dumped
on.
a fat ass tiger in an abandoned house.
Yeah, chain them to their house. What if you chain them to their house?
Okay.
And they could only be at their house.
Right.
For
Like
a
house
month.
arrest.
For having a fucking tiger. Because there's no tigers here.
Right.
Don't bring tigers here if there's none here.
Yeah, you need to stay home. You need to reorganize your whole house for a situation where you're not living with a tiger anymore.
Yes.
And come up with a new plan and a strategy for what direction you're going to be taking your pet owning. Maybe start smaller.
Get a fucking dog. Go buy a fucking
Start
dog.
with kitty cat. Maybe if tiger to cat makes sense. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, they
They don't want a cat. They just can't get high
They
off
can't
a cat.
do a cat.
You know,
yeah.
they're like
look at it, so weak. I can just crush its head in my hand.
This cat can't kill me. I
Right.
hate this animal.
Yeah,
They want it. The person that needs to own a tiger is the person that wants something that can kill him. That can't
Dominator,
kill him.
yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. But
Ooh,
so
I've watched some back in my early vegetarian days. I used to watch some fucking hilarious videos of people getting killed by their tigers.
Yeah.
There was more than one where like the thing would just reach out and grab a head.
yeah, so they said this tiger was 1,000 pounds, which is really terrible because he was just fat because he's sitting in his
Is that-
cage for all this time,
How
and it
much
was
they
in a
supposed to be?
garage in Texas. I don't know, but this thing is fat as shit.
Oh, that's a big boy.
Yeah.
Wow,
So-
that's a big tiger.
So police said the cage,
Can you put that up?
but I want to talk about how they found the tiger.
Okay.
Police said the caged tiger was found at a home on the 9400 block of East J Avenue. An anonymous tipster reported seeing the animal about a week ago, according to Bark. The tipster said that they were at the house to smoke marijuana and they thought they were hallucinating when they first saw the tiger, according to the police.
Oh, that sucks, man. That sucks. Like,
They-
hey, is that a fucking tiger, man?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this tiger is such a big boy. Look at him. Like that's a.
That is a hefty kitty cat.
Let me see if I can turn the sound off so we can see it.
It looks like one of those pigs that I saw at the Texas State Fair that just laid there grunting on its side.
Yeah, this is evil,
This thing
man.
needs to like.
Like having.
Wait, what is that? Wait,
That's
what
a
happened?
tiger, my dude.
What happened to its face? Oh,
I mean, he's a sad ass tiger,
it,
dude.
got it.
That's
No.
a tiger that's sad, man. You
man.
know? It's
Yeah.
like fuck, man. I'm supposed to be in Africa,
He doesn't
like,
look
running
sad.
around.
He kind of just looks lazy.
No, well, yeah, because he's
He
a
kinda
fucking
just
fat
like, man,
tiger
I fucking
now.
ain't doing nothing, man.
Yeah,
What am I doing? Sitting behind this cage?
yeah. I feel for him, man.
Yeah, this sucks.
I just
Where's that fat? Let me see that big belly. That
These-
belly looks gigantic.
these fucking people, man. Like humans are such garbage.
Yeah, some
you know.
some of us.
Look at
yeah,
this thing.
I mean, we get a little out of control.
Humans are
start
just
fucking around with tiger shit. which-
pigs.
That's a big tiger.
Yeah. I wish. You know
That's
what?
a-
You want to tell me? You want me to tell you the truth?
Hefty
I wish
Kit
they would
Kat.
find this fucking tiger and then let it eat the person that owned it. How about that? The person
Death
that
penalty.
abandoned that fucking tiger, they should eat that guy. Let him eat that fucking. He is a. I mean, the tiger's a unit. I mean, he's an absolute
Yeah.
unit of a tiger. But they should let the person that they should let that tiger eat that person.
Right.
That's all there is to it.
I don't know.
I
think they
that's
can
my
learn their lesson.
my opinion.
I'm
Well,
more
they
with
learn
the-
their
I'm
lesson
more
while
with
they're
the-
getting ate by that tiger.
I'm
Is
more
what
the
they would learn.
Cool their heels
Yeah.
idea than the eaten by tiger punishment.
I'm going with eaten by tiger. I mean, there's a lot of people I
You're
think should be eaten by
Mr.
tiger.
Crime and Punishment.
It's not punishment. I'm not trying
Oh,
to.
not as a punishment.
Just don't. We look.
Just to get rid of the problem of having a person that made a 1,000-pound tiger.
Yes.
Problem solves itself.
Maybe we just fucking put that person and that tiger in the house together
Make it, yeah.
and just.
He's like, that's really your problem,
Buddy,
Like,
if you-
you're responsible.
Yeah, if you can live with this tiger, if you can figure out a way to live with this tiger without it eating you and killing you, then fuck it, go for it. No cages though, you know.
Wow.
What a depressing ass
There's
story.
a lot of overhead to make sure the terms of that contract are met.
Yeah. Well, did you hear about Kamala Harris this week?
I
She's back in the
did.
newsy woozy.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I wish I would have saw. Go ahead.
I got some audio of her.
Really?
You wanna hear some
I didn't
audio of
hear
her?
the audio. I saw just like a breakdown. Let me
Well, I
see.
only got 17 seconds of audio
Oh, that's
here.
great. I love 17
But
seconds. That's
it's a
my
good,
favorite
it's a
number.
good quick boy, and we can listen to it, and we can.
I want to.
I want to
hear
tell
how
the
her voice
listeners.
if her voice quivers. I want to see if I can hear the lie.
I want to tell the listeners that Kamala Harris graduated college in 1986. Now let's hear this video.
But that's my history. with
What do you
facts.
listen to? Because I know she has to go. So, what does Kamala Harris listen to?
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song?
Oh my goodness! Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac for sure, for sure.
They were both in high school.
Yeah.
So they asked her what she listens to when she gets high, and she said Snoop and Tupac. But I also want to play this
Yeah, but-
clip. I also want to play this clip of Kamala Harris, which, by the way, she threw a lot of people in jail for weed. Let's listen to
Yeah, I
this
was
one.
gonna say, yeah, with Kamala.
Also, and I know the answer to this too, they say you oppose legalizing weed.
That's not true.
I know.
And look, I joke about it, half joking. Half my family's from
Okay,
Jamaica.
well,
Are you
that doesn't
kidding
mean
me?
anything. Like, everybody in Jamaica doesn't get high. It seems weird to
They be
say.
so mad at you. Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay.
Like in
And
college, or-
I inhale. I did. I did inhale. It was a long time ago, but yes.
I know you have to go. They say you have to go. I just wanted to
I
ask.
just broke loose.
All right.
I mean, was it in college?
Uh-huh.
See, I like stuff like that. That's a real honest
Yeah,
answer.
for real.
See,
Was it a blunt or joint?
somebody pointed out,
It was a joke.
and I can't remember who this
Hey.
fucking
You remember the high?
was,
Yeah. What was that?
that I think she was lying when she said she listened in college because she went, just like yeah. And so if she was actually listening to Snoop and Tupac, that means that she was sending people to jail for fucking weed and also smoking weed.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Maybe not every day, but certainly maybe at a party or some sort of other fucking event.
Well, the thing that
For
came
people
up
that
on,
are above the law.
the thing that came up on Twitter, and I can credit this to Sam Sachs, that got me thinking in this direction, is that this election is going to mean a weird new kind of virtue signaling where all of the candidates are going to say that they smoke weed now.
You're right.
Or that they have smoked weed now.
That's
like
true.
we've moved to this new this
cheers.
new version of governance now, or this new version of America where now everybody has to say, oh yes, of course I've smoked marijuana.
Yeah,
it's
man.
crazy to think that I wouldn't do it when
I
all
love
of them
Doja.
yeah, when all of them were doing business or were doing politics at
Yeah.
a time when they were all part of a machine that was throwing people in jail for marijuana and not speaking up. And it's the same thing that we've been talking about this since 2011 on Street Fight. These DEA agents, right? That spend their whole career chasing people down and throwing people in prison for drugs, and then when they get out saying we gotta fucking end this war on drugs, fucking killing people, it's ruining everything. And it's like, well, if you had the power, Kamala Harris had the fucking power to not throw people in jail for smoking weed when she was throwing people in jail for smoking weed. She had unilateral power to not prosecute people who got brought to her for fucking weed charges. And she knows weed's not safe. Hell, half of my family's Jamaican, which is kind of a weird fucking thing to say. Just on my, I mean, I know that that's a stereotype, but
Sure.
I don't think that if you're running for president,
I wouldn't do that.
you don't
Well,
say
yeah,
stuff
she
like
was
that.
trying to be comfortable.
Yeah, that's a bad
Too
way.
comfortable.
That would be considered a gaffe to me.
Wasn't Eric Holder one of the guys that did that too?
They all do it, dude. They
Like
all
he was
fucking
like,
do
"Geez,
it.
Louise, these marijuana laws are outrageous." And it's like, why were you doing it then?
Yeah, they all do it. They all are like, they're cowards until everything changes, until the mind, and we have to go through years and years and years of them, you know, chasing us around, fucking throwing our weed away, giving us teen court or fucking drug court and all this shit before then enough people change their mind that never really believed it should have been illegal
Right.
anyway.
No,
Nobody believed that.
No, they were just doing it to cause a problem, to make a line in the sand, or to create trouble, or like you said, virtue signal.
Yeah.
It's
And
just they're changing the pole is moving. The goal is moving, not the pole.
this is from 10 hours ago.
Get the pole moving.
But it's from a website called Civilized Life, so I don't know what that is. It sounds racist for some reason.
Yeah,
But
I don't
former
know.
Attorney General Eric Holder says he tried to reschedule marijuana during the Obama administration.
Great.
And
Good try.
Eric Holder has become an outspoken critic of the Trump administration's handling of legal marijuana, although many point out that it's not much different than how the Obama administration handled the issue. Boy, that's
Touche.
yeah, it's just this has been something that's been happening now for a few years where it was things like when John Favreau, the Pod Save America guy, retweeted the pictures of kids in cages from ICE. He said, "This is unacceptable. What kind of a nation does this?" And it was Obama while he was writing. The pictures were from when Obama was president while he was writing fucking speeches for him. These guys all fucking do this.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking shitty, and it sucks ass now that we have to do this. Now we are going to have to do this with cocaine. We're going to have to do this with mushrooms. We're going to have to do this with MDMA.
Right.
We're going to have to do this with amphetamines. We're going to have to just keep doing this
very slow
over
process.
and over and over again. And it's going to take for fucking ever. But in like 100 years, some fucking alien that's running for president is going to be like, well, yeah, I snorted cocaine back when I was listening to Bleep Blorp in my college room, you know?
Listen to that beep lettuce.
That's a podcast. They're fans of the show. They're
I know.
sweeties.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
I was listening to
Trying to be
Bleep.
sly.
Yeah, well, listen to Beep Beep Lettuce, you know? No, I was listening to Bleep Blorp in my college dorm, like pod. They'll be sleeping
College
in
pod.
pods, you know? I was riding my rocket skates and doing a little sniz before all my classes, you know?
I
And
just pulled up some Tupac on my hollow disc.
it's so fucking predictable, and it sucks.
No, well, I don't know. You really seem to be in the horse race this year. I am more interested in seeing how they are going to reveal. Now I do want to get little, just 17 seconds. That's all I need. I just want to see Beto O'Rourke be like, oh, I used to run pounds of hashish down from Denver to El Paso.
Yeah, they're
You
all
know?
gonna fucking have to do it now,
You
dude.
know?
Cory Booker. By the way, the guy that had to come out and say I have a girlfriend, that's the most embarrassing thing somebody's had to say.
What happened?
He just said, like, he was doing a press conference and he was like, oh, by the way, I have a girlfriend. Like, people think he's gay, but it's like,
Oh.
I don't really think he is now if he said he had a girlfriend. Because,
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Settled it.
well, no,
Yeah.
I'm saying even that like, that wouldn't be something that disqualifies you from being president of the United States in 2019, I don't think.
Oh, I get it. Because they're wondering, like, who's going to be the first lady.
Well, yeah, they're just asking him like who he's into, what he's into. People are accusing him of, so people think that he's gay. So he had to
So
come.
what?
And,
Wait, what does that matter?
Exactly.
What is this
well,
about?
I mean,
how is that relevant?
That's the world we fucking live in, dude. I'll look up the
These
story.
are the fucking Democrats that we're talking about?
Well, I mean, they're bad.
These are the progressive, bleeding heart, lovey-dovey liberals, huh?
But this early part of the race has been so.
Equality, or what? Coexist, right?
It's just this early part of the race is
It's
such
weird.
a
I mean,
fucking weird
think
part
just-
of it now,
'cause
where like
everybody
she's coming out and saying like, "I was smoking fucking weed and getting that thug life in," and
Yeah.
you're like, "What the fuck are we doing?" And she's on Charlemagne's show,
Yeah.
and then.
Well,
And
he's
then
got a big audience.
we're on. Now I'm looking at USA Today. Senator Cory Booker admitted on Tuesday that no, he is not an eligible bachelor. Appearing on the syndicated radio show The Breakfast Club,
Wow.
Booker, who is running for president in 2020, said he's dating someone, adding she would make a nice first lady. I got a boo. Booker said with a laugh after being pressed by host Charlemagne the
Nice.
God. The issue came up after Booker mentioned living in a basement apartment in Washington, which Charlemagne noted was a sign of a true black bachelor and a rarity for an American president. Nearly all presidents elected are married. Only a handful of single men have made it to the White House, including Thomas Jefferson in 1800, Martin Van Buren in 1836, and James Buchanan in 1857. I couldn't have named James Buchanan. If you were like, remember when James Buchanan was the president? I'm like, that motherfucker wasn't a president.
Yeah.
Never did know James Buchanan.
no-
I only
I
know like
remember
8
that one.
presidents,
Yeah.
dude. I could name 8 presidents, maybe. And that's it fucking pressed, you know? It's like John, and that one of them would have to be John Adams and then John Quincy Adams.
Right.
And then the rest of them would probably be people like,
The last 8 presidents.
yes, there's like a whole section in there that's like Pierce, like Grover. Yeah, I know Grover Cleveland because of Grover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Grover was great.
And my wife calls her Cleavage. Grover.
Oh.
Cleavage. But she
Right.
says, oh, I got Grover showing. I'm like, oh, hachi, machi, you know.
Right.
And I don't do that because I'm sexless.
Like that Grover.
But Booker said before he declared for president, he was already dating someone who is really special. So, yeah, Cory Booker. But the headline was so
Wow.
funny to me because it said, I got a boo. Senator Cory Booker says he has a girlfriend who would make a nice first lady.
So who else? So, oh man.
So, do you think somebody's going to have to announce that they've had sex before now?
Well, I
Beto O'Rourke comes out and he's like, yes, I have had sex. I am not a virgin. I am actually a Chad.
Yeah. Is he married?
Let me check.
He's got to be. I don't know. You know what I think about Beto O'Rourke, man, is that those Democrats. Here's what I think. Actually, here's what I thought of. Here's how it came out. It was a ZZ Top thing. Every damn's crazy about a horse-faced man.
Come on.
They love him. John Kerry and now Beto. They love those long faces, man. They can't get enough of a giant fucking teeth.
Every Dem's crazy. Can somebody make that? We've never done a parody song on a show, but every Dem's crazy about a horse. You know what's funny?
They love it. Big
post,
face.
So I posted. So he has an HBO show about his election, right? His race in Texas, and I retweeted it and said it's called Running with Beto.
Yeah.
And in the most uncreative tweet of all time, I just wrote losing with Dorkman.
Yeah, nice.
And it got like a lot of retweets. And like all these women responded to him. It's like, I don't think he's a dork. I think he's hot. And I was like, I don't
Great.
know, Beto.
He's doing it for him.
He looks kind of like John
they
Edwards.
love him.
He looks like a
Oh, he
non-disgraced
does look
John
like
Edwards.
John Edwards too.
And he's married. Yes, he got married in
Long-ass head,
2005.
Fucking, he looked like he squeezed his head through like the banister on his stairs.
Yep.
Like squeezed his shit.
So yeah, Beto is married. So what's Beto gonna have to come out and say?
Well, he's doing the best so far. He's doing good. He's like was in a punk rock band, so that gets like all the old the old like
people
rock
that-
and roll people
people
that
that
still
get, like,
guitar music.
People who still go and see like Jello Biafra give speeches.
Yeah, people that go to record stores.
People that go to Henry Rollins spoken word shows.
People that go to record stores but buy old records,
Okay.
like not brand new records.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is the other. Klobuchar, she is doing bad still. I got advertised. by
Well,
her.
you know what she's gonna have to do. She's gonna have to be like, I never threw a binder at somebody.
Did you hear the new one?
No.
There is something about her.
What?
Saturday Night Live did it in a parody because apparently someone heard that it was true, and they even kind of tipped their hat a little bit on Twitter. She allegedly made someone shave her legs.
Nope. Let me
You
look.
gotta look it up. You gotta look it up. It's some monstrous shit. But apparently they revealed it in some Saturday Night Live skit. I did.
Oh no, it's from Veep. They did a joke
Veep, there
about
you
it,
go.
and it
There
was
you go.
inspired by her.
Sorry. Yeah.
Never heard of that. Ooh, man. Well, she seems like a really nice person. That's all I'm gonna say. It sucks because like I don't want to like come out here and be like this woman is mean because these men are horrible too.
Sure.
But she seems horrible, right?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just-
Who else is left? Is Joe Biden gonna do it?
Oh God, Joe Biden has to come out and say he smoked weed. Like if
Yeah.
Joe Biden has to say, like he has no chance in hell, right? Like I read somewhere that guys like him are reconsidering now because of the popularity of people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the popularity of like Kamala Harris and a few other people that he's just kind of like maybe, or Elizabeth Warren and people. Elizabeth Warren's out there too. She already did the, oh, check it out. I did a DNA test.
He's just
yeah. So she's already messed one up too.
He's like staring into the distance, shaking a handful of peanuts in his hand and just saying, maybe this old dog's got some new tricks.
Yeah. Oh man, I hate that guy with
He sucks
everything
ass.
in my heart.
He's a piece of shit,
He's
man.
the worst kind of dude.
He should be totally stripped of any government licensing and job position, all of that. I'd love for him to just retire and go eat chowder on the fucking bay or whatever he does.
Take the fucking bus to the fucking bay and eat a crab cake and fuck off to the ocean.
Put on your
I mean,
sunglasses
honestly,
and
I'd like him to.
flip-flops.
I'd like him to just walk into the ocean and keep going. Just keep walking, Joe. Jumping Joe Biden. I hate that guy, man. I do hate his guts. All right. Well, everything's going well, I think, and
Everything's going well.
everything's going well.
That's
Kamala
what- that's
Harris
what we
tried
learned.
weed. Cory Booker has a girlfriend. Amy Klobuchar made somebody shave their legs, and Beto O'Rourke is a Chad.
Right.
That's the end of the show.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the show. This is Street Fight Radio. You can find what we do on Google Play, on
Just say iTunes first.
iTunes.
Get out of here. You can find it on Google Play. You can find it on Podbean. You can find and then name iTunes last.
Pod Sizzler,
You can't find it on Spotify, which is a fucking crime.
Juicecast, Speaker Box,
Podhammer. Podprang.
So if you want more of what we do, we have bonus content over on Patreon. I'm working on getting our Los Angeles live show together. I'm working on getting the Pittsburgh show and the Midwest video together. Those will be coming out soon. We're catching up on the zines. You're going to get the Hustler zine very soon. You're going to get the History zine very soon. We're going to follow that up with the travel zine, and then the sex zine. We're doing a sex zine.
No
apparently.
Brian involvement
But
in
Brian
the sex zine. I
said-
have tapped out. I
Yeah.
said I will do a sex zine. I don't want anything to do with it. Brett, you have to write it. And he said, let's do it. And I said, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, so let me see. Where was I at? What did you say?
Nothing. Juicero Pod. No, we're done, man. Show's
That's
over.
it. That's it.
Venmo.com.
sex scene.
Venmo
Sex scene's
at
coming.
Street Fight
All of
Radio,
that. We're
baby.
catching it up. It's coming. If you don't want to sign up and you still want to support the show, you can always Venmo some cash at Street Fight Radio on Venmo or the Cash App $signs. You know, whatever the $sign is.
Mm-hmm.
You know that $sign I'm talking about?
Yeah, Cash App.
$sign Street Fight Radio. What's this one?
Hey, y'all. I am.
Or $sign. It's $sign Street Fight on Cash App.
I'm showing my
Like
pen. This
begging.
is Dirty Girl 1-to-1. If you wondered what kind of weed this is, so there you go.
I have sherbet, tropical sherbet. It's fucking my favorite. It tastes like fruit snacks.
Yep.
We are Street Fight Radio. You can find us on social media at Street Fight WCRS. If you want to see my live streams, you have to get on Instagram. I go live a couple times a week after the gym, talk about what's going on in Street Fight world, what our plans are, what the business is like, answer some questions, hang out with some cool people. We got folks that are stealing time from work. They're like staying in the bathroom and watching live streams. People are turning their computers off and just totally ignoring their job to watch the live streams as soon as they get a notification.
What time is it?
In the mornings.
What time in the morning?
Usually about
Like when I'm up?
8 or 9 in the morning.
Oh, that's a different morning.
Yeah.
My morning is at 1.
Right.
Actually, this morning, I woke up and I was like, I'm fucking miserable. Oh my God, I do not want to get out of bed. I looked at my phone, it was 11:41, and I was like, oh, good, it's still early. And I rolled over and went back to sleep until 1.
Nice. Well, that's the Brian Quimby lifestyle.
Yeah, now I'm going to go and watch The Expanse for 3 hours because I've been a good boy that worked today.
All right. We'll see you later. Peace.